Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? My name is Clayton. This is PTA, joined alongside Tim in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm down here in Tennessee here to talk Packers Vikings this evening. Got an awesome show for you guys and gals as Victory Monday rolls on with the Packers 23-6 victory over the Minnesota Vikings at Lambeau Field. Tonight, we're going to talk a little Jordan Love injury. I don't think enough people are talking about Jordan Love's injury and how much it may have hindered him yesterday. Now we're starting to see some other people tweet some stuff out. I want to cover that, kind of give us a little bit of an update there, just have a conversation about that. Christian Watson, top 10 wide receiver. We'll explain what that means. Micah Parsons absolutely dominating. We already started diving into the tape, so I got a little teaser, a little appetizer, if you will, for tomorrow's show when we do Chalk Talk. Isaiah McDuffie and Edgerrin Cooper, where they rank now in terms of PFF grades, is absolutely wild. We'll hit that. And then, of course, we'll get all the PFF grades in from the Packers-Vikings game yesterday. Before we get into that, do that YouTube stuff for me. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on the daily. So if you look for that type of content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Tim, we got a lot to cover, man. We have a whole bunch of information to get into. Is there anything you want to hit before we kind of jump into everything head first here?
No, let's dive right in, man. Victory Monday continues. Let's go.
That's right. Let's start off with a little Jordan Love talk, guys. And again, we seen them really, really lean into the run yesterday, right? I mean, we watched the Packers just run the hell out of the rock, and there's some people that didn't like that. They thought we should have thrown more, this and that. We're being too conservative. Want to explain why. And again, in the post-game show, we talked about it. We're like, man, it's obvious something's wrong with Jordan's shoulder still from that hit he took in New York, or against the New York Giants, I should say, right? So we seen him, handing the ball off weird. I've actually got the tape. I found it on a clip there from the All-22. We'll hit it. But I want to shout out Alexander Basarowski over at Basarowski Productions, a good friend of the show, said same injury Love has, but people still are upset he didn't throw the ball 40 times yesterday, as he quote tweeted an Adam Schefter tweet that said, pre-MRI, the Buccaneers believe Baker Mayfield suffered a sprained AC joint in his left shoulder per sources. There was no fracture and no structural damage. One source said the Buccaneers, quote, are not ruling out Mayfield for Sunday's game versus the Cardinals, but today's MRI will reveal more, right? So obviously what Baz is doing here, Tim, is just pointing out, like, look, we've got a portion of the fan base that's upset that Jordan's not throwing the ball, like he said, 40 times yesterday, and we're pressing into the run. It's obvious that was the game plan going in, was like, look, we got to really limit the hits that Jordan takes. I don't think it's so much about him throwing the ball. And it does explain, however, remember me talking about in the postgame show, Tim, he dirted that ball down the seam on that one throw? Yep. That explains it, right? Because I was like, man, that looked really weird. And then, of course, you had some other plays where he looked a little bit funky. As a matter of fact, I'll pop this up on the screen real quick. Found this on the All-22, and it got mentioned on the broadcast as well. It was amazing that the announcers didn't realize it was his shoulder. I didn't even really know what was going on. But I just said in this tweet here, Jordan Love picking up right where Favre and Rodgers left off, playing hurt. Played last year with 3 injuries, and here's a good look at the opposite side handoff dealing with the separated shoulder. The Packers have their third straight throwback quarterback. He is nails. So you'll see here, guys, in slow motion. I try to slow it down. He drops back, should have handed off with his left hand. Instead, he hands it with his right hand. That's how much that left shoulder is bothering him. You've seen him kind of wince, too, as he went back. And he's getting the hell out of Dodge, right, to make sure he doesn't take any kind of hit there, too, Tim. So, again, just wanted to point out other people are now mentioning, hey, this is why he didn't throw the ball as much yesterday. You want to get him rested up for Thursday, obviously, against the Lions. Because I do think it'll be I think it'll be much more difficult to run against the Lions than it was the Vikings. But I got to be honest with you, man. We ran the ball pretty effectively against the Vikings, and that was a pretty solid defense, if I remember correctly. I'll try to take a glance at some of the rankings here. Yeah. In terms of the defense coming into yesterday, let's just go points per play here real quick. Detroit is ranked 12th in the league in points per play. Minnesota's just 2 spots behind them. So in terms of scoring defense, right? Not much of a difference. In terms of yards per play allowed, Detroit is 7th best, and Minnesota's 9th best. That was, like I said, coming into yesterday. So Detroit probably dropped a little bit with all the points they gave up to the Giants too, Tim. But again, you want QB1 to be able to throw the football. However, the ultimate goal is to keep him healthy for the rest of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we'd really try to press into the run on Thanksgiving, man. What's your take on all that? How do you feel about Jordan Love and obviously this injury that I really do think mainstream media is not, they're not
touching it.
Yeah, right.
And they're not touching the Packers either. I mean, you wouldn't even know if you watched the national media today that there was even a football game between Minnesota and Green Bay yesterday. The way that they're covering it. And not surprised that Baz picked up on this too. Big shout out to Baz. And it's a credit to the install all week long, right? You got Jordan backhanded, left-handed handoffs with the right hand. And there wasn't a single botched exchange at all in this game, which is, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty surprising to me. And it says a lot about what's going on with that AC joint or shoulder separation, whatever you want to call it. You compare it to Baker Mayfield like Baz did, that's genius. And Baker, that was like basically a non-contact. Like he kind of stumbled and kind of fell funny. You look at Jordan took a shot right to that left shoulder directly. So I'm sure it's a little bit different for Jay Money. And, MRIs being negative, it's not broken, it doesn't need surgery. That's great. It doesn't mean it's not painful as hell and affects the way you play football. So credit to Emanuel Wilson, credit to Jordan for, getting these backhanded fakes off, and we didn't miss a beat in the run game. And if we got to do the same thing on Turkey Day in Detroit, then let's do it, Yeah.
Whatever it takes, man. And listen, you got to tip your cap to Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
The fact that you were without Josh Jacobs and essentially without your starting quarterback too, you couldn't play him the way you wanted to, right? And if we had known it was going to be as bad as it was going into the game, we were a little, I was very bullish on hitting the over on Jordan Love's passing yards. I thought they would come out and throw the ball around. And then by the end of the first quarter, it's like, oh no, there's something's going on there. So again, you credit Tim with going out there, toughing it out, and credit Matt LaFleur for going, you know what? Don't worry about it. Jordan, we'll win it, but we ain't got Josh Jacobs. I don't care. I'll scheme this thing up. We'll be all right.
Yes, sir.
Love to see it. Now, moving on to some more Jordan Love conversation here real quick before we wrap this part up. I want to give a shout out to somebody on X. This is Kevin Cole over on X. Had tweeted out quarterback efficiency, EPA per play, minimum 150 dropbacks through week 12 Sunday Night Football. So it doesn't include this Monday night matchup that's going to be kicking off here shortly, I believe, between Carolina and San Francisco. Jordan Love still leads the National Football League. As a matter of fact, I think he leaped over Drake May yesterday at a positive 0.29 EPA per play. Drake May's at a 0.28, then Sam Darnold 0.26, Patrick Mahomes 0.24. And of course, if you want to just kind of cross compare that, because I know Bears fans have somehow convinced themselves that Caleb Williams is playing better than Jordan Love, you'll notice Caleb Williams is 21st in the league with a positive 0.08 EPA per play. So again, Jordan Love just continuing to play really good football. And I love the fact that he just protected the football yesterday too, man, instead of trying to go out there and play hero ball, knowing you're hurt, knowing he didn't can out of run plays. He didn't check at the line. He didn't do all that. It's just, hey, let's stick with the game plan. Let's run the rock. Let's let them make the mistakes. Let's let 9 go out there and lose the game for the Vikings, and we'll just coast in here for a nice little easy victory. It says a lot about this team, Tim,
it does.
You can go in there and play like that and not have to be overly aggressive and get a 3-score win. I mean, it really says a lot about where they're at. I think mainly in the trenches, mostly on defense, but you've seen a little bit on offense too, man. They were able to move the rock.
Great point that you made there. Credit Tupac LaFleur for the game plan, right? I mean, you put your starter out there, QB1, and you want to make sure he's not getting worse with that shoulder, and you literally scheme up a game plan designed around it to keep him safe. We actually saw, a couple of plays where I believe Jordan canned out of a pass and canned to a run just because, whatever the read was or whatever the reasoning was. So like, to your point, he's trusting that game plan that they had in install and, trusting Jeff Hafley's defense, like you said, in the trenches. I mean, look at how many 3-and-outs were generated, how many turnovers. One thing I think nobody is given the Packers credit for is, you had another turnover created on a 4th and 1 that Minnesota tried to go for.
Yeah.
And, that's a turnover on downs by your defense. I don't care what anyone says. It ain't going to jump off the stat sheet at you. But that's a turnover, man. You stood them up on 3rd and short, and then you did it again on 4th and short. That's a credit to Hafley and DeMarcus Covington there in the trenches getting it done. And I love it.
We'll break that play down on Chalk Talk tomorrow as well. And they're continuing that tendency of playing an under front against heavy sets.
Yep,
and it's really impressive that they literally will play under. It's like they're begging them to run to the strong side of the formation. And it seems like teams are still hesitating to try to stretch it out wide because they know how quick, how fast this Packers defense is. That's the best I can come up with there. But very, very interesting to see them continue to play under fronts on those type of plays. Corey Murphy in the chat says, yeah, maybe this O-line is putting it together. There were some things that changed, too. I'm going to briefly mention it here. Me and Tim talked about it a little bit earlier. Snap count on the offensive line. Zach Tom, 65 snaps. Aaron Banks, 65 snaps. Sean Ryan, 65 snaps. Rasheed Walker, 65 snaps. Anthony
65%.
65%. That's what Anthony Belton at right guard, 45 snaps. All right. Check this out.
They pulled the Escalade out of the garage, man. They got him out there. I love it.
And again, I didn't notice anything on the tape that said, wow, he played great. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I would love to be coming on here tonight and be like, Anthony Belton was a dog. I didn't see it. Right. He didn't play horrible in my opinion, but I didn't see some people I think got excited just to see him out there. But 45 snaps. Next in line, Darian Kennard with 21 snaps. And you guys know he plays that extra Y, right? He plays the extra tight end position when they want to go to the heavy sets. Then Jordan Morgan at 20 snaps. Jacob Monk, 0 snaps. So if yesterday was any indication, they may finally have turned the corner and said, all right, Anthony Belton is going to play right guard. And let's put Jordan Morgan on the bench and hopefully get him working dominantly, or primarily, I should say, on the left side of the offensive line, get him ready to take over at left tackle if they don't extend Rasheed Walker. That's what I would like to see happen. I'm sick of the whole trying to force a square peg in a round hole, that whole thing. But again, I digress. I think that it could have been a game plan thing too, Tim. Hell, for all we know, maybe Jordan Morgan was a little banged up or got banged up in the game and we didn't notice it, right? And they just decided, hey, let's limit his snap count. I think we will find out on Thanksgiving, though, against Detroit, whether or not that's going to continue there with Anthony Belton playing right guard. So
I think to your point, it's valid. I don't think anything like jumped off the tape as like phenomenal play. But when you see, a rookie go out there and not be a liability and be able to play some damn good snaps for you, especially in a run heavy game, especially in a position that, you don't necessarily play all the time. That was the bright spot that I saw with Big Escalade out there at right guard.
Yeah, and I've seen people bragging on our boy Emanuel Wilson in the chat here. This play is another one that makes Chalk Talk. I usually don't include 1-yard touchdowns. There's not much to break down. You got a yard, right? But this one, as I said in this tweet, the box score will show a 1-yard run, but the tape shows Emanuel Wilson running through an MFer's face. Watch this run right here, guys. It's going to be an A-gap run, right? It's going to be a 21 dive, essentially. Watch him, and I'll slow it down here for you, too. Look at this. Linebacker meets him in the hole. Just crumbled him, dude.
Linebacker and a D tackle.
Yeah, absolutely crumbled. Look at Sean Ryan driving out of there, too, man. That's what you want to see. Now, there's Jordan Morgan on that play, right? He didn't block a damn person.
That's like you were saying, right? If you're gonna bail or you're gonna guess or commit, it's to the inside, not to the outside. And he bit to the outside on that one.
Yeah, and again, that's Emanuel Wilson right there, dude. That's a grown ass man.
Is that the one he was talking about? He stopped his feet. I didn't stop mine. I love it.
Guarantee that's what it was.
I love it.
So again, Emanuel Wilson with a great game there, and just wanted to show, like, yeah, somebody said it in the chat. They said, yeah, 9 to be fair to 9 over in Minnesota, he didn't have Emanuel Wilson in the backfield, right? Emanuel Wilson was balling out. Let's go to the injury report real quick before we change gears here, Tim. This is the first one, guys. Understand this is one of those where if they had practice, this is kind of a projection, as Paul Brittle said. Packers estimated injury report. Jacobson, Golden Limited, Nixon, and Van Ness did not participate. Now, Baz on Twitter, he seemed to think, oh, no, LVN took a step back. But I will tell you this, not only but I think Anthony over on X as well. He usually hops in here on the show as well. I noticed, and he noticed it as well. He pointed it out to Baz. that late in the fourth quarter, LVM was in. I think it was the McDuffie interception. LVM was rushing the quarterback. So he did come back, and this just may be precautionary here. He was limping, so he wasn't 100%. So Baz was wondering, oh, no, did he have a setback? Thinking he may have not gone back into the game, and he did confirm he didn't know that he went back in the game. So I just wanted to mention that. I think that's good news that he went back in. However, obviously something's still bothering him because he went in for a few snaps early and he just started hobbling. So
And we still don't know what it is, right? It's just foot, right?
Right.
I'm wondering if
Exactly.
he's dealing with the same crap Bird was dealing with the Jones fracture. And, LVN's just gritting through it and trying not to have the surgery so he's available. That's pure unadulterated speculation on my part. But you see a guy that's clearly not 100%, but is trying to get back. And the fact that he did come into the game again is a good sign. But clearly he's playing through something. And you got to love the grit on Lucas Van Ness, just doing what he's got to do to see the field, even if it is 10 snaps or 8 snaps or whatever it is. Like you said, he's in on a play, rushing the quarterback, and we get a pick. We'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just kind of focus on the did not participate. What would have been projected as did not participate. Carl Brooks, we talked about him having very limited snaps. It's obvious he's hurt with the ankle injury. He would not have participated. Keyshawn Nixon would not have with the neck stinger. Lucas Van Ness wouldn't have with the foot, and Savion Williams wouldn't have with the foot. So just to kind of give you an update on that, nothing's really changed on the injury report other than I think we would all say we're hopeful, and I'm kind of expecting both Jaden Reed and Josh Jacobs to be in the lineup on Thursday. It was kind of the plan to hold them out, it seemed like. I could be wrong there. We'll see as we get a little later in the week. But I think you'll have both of those guys back. And there's a chance you'll have Quay back, too. As they said, he would have been limited with the neck injury, right? So just a couple of players that kind of stick out to me there. On Detroit's side, Terry and Arnold would have been limited with a concussion. You had Brian Branch limited with the toe/ankle, which he's been banged up for a while, I believe. Did not participate were Graham Glasgow, center, Kirby Joseph, safety. Who else? Khalif Raymond, wide receiver, and then Brock Wright, tight end. So they've got a long injury list here as well. We'll keep an eye on that and monitor as we get closer to Thursday.
Keep an eye on that tight end position, right? I mean, they're already down there TE1. Now it looks like you're down another one. So that's certainly going to change things offensively from Detroit's standpoint for sure. And then, hopefully Brian Branch misses this game, but I doubt it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm trying to think. Is it Kirby Joseph that's been out a while now, guys? Is it him that's been out with the knee? I'm thinking. I could be wrong there, but I want to say he's missed some significant time now. But
that would make sense, right? He's DNP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. But anyway, let us know if you're watching this video back later. Let us know in the comments. How do you feel about that injury report? Also, how do you feel about Jordan Love? Did that kind of answer the questions for you like it did for us in terms of, him not looking like himself out there? And what do you think about Matt LaFleur's game plan that he put together to try to just kind of coast in there on that victory against a Minnesota Vikings team that obviously were not ready to play, man. They got their ass kicked in every phase of the game. And I think they said they had, 40 yards in the second half of total offense. I mean, that's just insane. So, again, let us know in the comments what you think, and make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, Tim, let's shift gears to wide receiver here, man. Christian Watson. We'll hit the grades from the game here in a bit. But
real quick, Bates update. Kirby Joseph's missed the last 5 games, so you were correct. You were definitely correct on the knee issue with him.
Yeah, so he'll be out, man, for sure. Yep. But most likely, right? Seeing that they already have listed as did not participate. All right, wide receiver, Tim. Christian Watson, he's been on one this year, no doubt. So I just put a tweet out. Green Bay Packers Christian Watson takes another jump in rankings, grading out as the 10th best wide receiver in the NFL, according to PFF. So Christian Watson is now officially an 82.3 PFF grade with an 83.4 receiving grade and a 61.8 run blocking grade. Look at the run blocking grades over to the side, guys, and look where Christian's at. I mean, he's definitely in the top half of those players in terms of run blocking grade. You'll see it on Chalk Talk tomorrow too, putting him at Z nasty, shifting into the wing, and him being a blocker. He's completely healthy. He's good to go. I am not concerned about that knee whatsoever moving forward. But the fact that he is the 10th highest graded receiver now, Tim, and he's under contract this year and next year. Number one, Jackson Smith and Jigba with a 94, Puka Nacua 93, Drake London 90, George Pickens 90, Amon-Ra St. Brown we'll see on Thursday with a 90, Jamar Chase 84, Jalen Waddle 83, Devontae Adams 83, and DeAndre Hopkins with an 82. Right on his heels with an 82.3 is our very own Christian Watson. He's grading out above people like Rasheed Rice, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and a whole bunch of other great wide receivers. So Scoot, all of a sudden, man, you look up and go, damn, is he a top 10 wide receiver? Is that what we're seeing here?
That's what we're seeing right here on this list, right? And
that's what you're
correct
seeing on
me if I'm
team.
wrong, he's the only receiver on this list that's played 5 games. I mean, everybody else on this list has pretty much played ball all year, correct?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Scoot is in the top 10 right here, and he just finished his 5th game back from injury.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It is, man. And he should be continuing to pick up momentum. And even in a game like yesterday where you just ran the ball heavy and your quarterback was banged up, he still made 2 or 3 plays that I remember, like crucial catches. And you're seeing his route tree has started to extend. They're working him on comebacks and out routes a lot more now. And
we saw that yesterday, right? That shot that Jordan took towards the sideline, put it into space, and Scoot just slid under it, made a catch, moved the sticks, you know?
So when you look at somebody like Christian Watson, you kind of break down the whole player profile. You go, okay, does he have speed? Yes. Does he have size? Yes. Does he have catch radius? Yes. Does he have hands? He does now, boy. There's no denying that now. He's got hands. Can he run all of the routes on the tree? That's what we're seeing this year. And I didn't expect that. I told you guys going into the season, I expected his hands to be improved because he's going to be limited on what he could work on in terms of route running and technique and things like that in the offseason with the knee. Damn, he comes back and now he's running more routes on the tree than I've ever seen him run. So, yeah, you got a player here that I'm going to be 100% up front. I'm not ready to say he's a top 10 wide receiver, but he's damn sure a top 32 wide receiver. He's definitely a number. It's kind of like the whole Carrington Valentine thing. Like, I feel like, all right, that's a top 32 corner the way he's playing right now. But Christian Watson, you give me 2 or 3 more games like he's played, and I'll be going, yep, he's top 10. Hell, he may be top 5 by the end of the year. So I'm really excited to see what Christian does, especially continuing to grow with Jordan Love in this offense, and as Jordan Love gets a little bit healthier too. But yeah, that's some big names there, Tim, to be in the mention with, man. Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Jamar Chase, people like that.
Yeah, and like to your point, Clay, like none of these guys on this list are one-dimensional receivers, right? So you talk about Scoot's route tree kind of getting opened up in this offense. I think it speaks to Matt LaFleur and the boys when they're scheming him up. Like, they're not worried about the knee either. They're cutting him loose. We've seen slot reps, we've seen him on the boundary. It doesn't matter, man. Running a curl, running a fade, running a 9. That's what separates the men from the boys when it comes to being a receiver is, what is the route tree that you're capable of running? And I think as you progress throughout your career, your play caller is going to open those shots up for you a lot more. And we've seen it, like I said, in just, 5 games here, Christian Watson creeping up into the top 10 conversation already. Got to love it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Chris the Casuan in the chat says Watson's 9 better than Pickens. Pickens is one of those guys, Chris, that if he could get his head out of his ass, he would be a dominant player. He just kind of gets in his own way sometimes. He did that in college, and he's done it in the pros since he, got drafted by the Steelers, and obviously they traded him away. You don't just trade number 1 receivers like that unless they're a little bit of a head case. He's got a ton of talent. But what you're saying here, I completely agree with you. If I had to choose between George Pickens and Christian Watson, I'm going Christian Watson because Christian Watson is a leader. Like, that dude, his teammates love him. He works his butt off. He's willing to block. That's it. And maybe Pickens is willing to block too. He just ain't got the frame to do it. Because like Christian's dad said on X the other day, still, you're talking about 225 pounds of muscle now, right? This guy, he's almost built like a tight end. He's almost built like a flex Y, but he's playing receiver. And I love the fact that Matt LaFleur, once again, you got to tip your cap to the coach, bringing him in from the Z, flexing him or bringing him from the Z to the wing position and letting him block. What you're doing is you're pulling a corner in close to have to cover him in man coverage. If you do that C gap release that's running wild through the league right now, it's kind of the new thing. If you do that and you bring a cornerback into the run fit, that's the type of stuff that allows Emanuel Wilson to bounce those runs.
We just saw that on the E. Wilson touchdown, right? Scoot moving into the wing, blocking guys into oblivion, and we get a tutter. I love it.
Absolutely. Let's stick with the chat here a second, see what everybody's saying. So, Turtles, I fear we haven't seen Watson Cillin yet. I think you're right. I don't think we have either.
You can't see it because there isn't one.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah, so that's an exciting place to be. Dick Palinick in the chat says, "Who's the skinny guy filling in for Clayton?" This is the Clayton that's trying to make it to 60. You know what I mean? That's the Clayton there. You look up and you got more chins than a Chinese phone book. It's like, all right, we got to get this weight thing under control. So we're and it was doctor ordered. Your boy was having a little spell where diabetes runs in the family, and I was having a little spell there where I was passing out and getting shaky and stuff. We're on the backside of that, and you just got to stop doing what you do, Clayton. And that's eating food. I love food. As I've always said, food's the only reason I don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's the way it works. So,
but you're looking trim, man. You're looking cut up, looking good. You know?
I think that's a compliment. Somebody the other day said they messaged me, and I know that it was well intended, but they messaged me and was like, "Man, I was worried about you, dude. You don't look good. You look like you're damn. Thanks, well, I appreciate that." One second, the doctor's telling me I'm dying. The next person telling me I look like I'm sick. I don't know what to do for you people. You know, I might just crack open a daddy soda and turn the phone off. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Chester talking about Christian Watson said he just looks smoother this year. He does. He looks really, really smooth in the releases. He looks smooth in his cutting ability. It's almost like I wonder if him having to slow down a bit for the training in the offseason and everything, getting the knee back right, if he kind of worked on that aspect, right, that you're not just going 110 mile an hour all the time. You know, you're having to go 80% or 70%, and maybe he picked up on something in and out of his breaks that could make him a smoother player. That could be the case for sure. Dave C in the chat says, built like a 4.3 40 running Lazard. That's a great point. If Alan Lazard had like 4.3 speed, he would have been a hell of a receiver. That's the only thing he was really lacking, in my opinion. So he was definitely on the same page with 12 when he was here. So
I wonder if that was the mindset too. Like you're telling Scoot, like, hey, bulk up a little bit. You know, we'll get you back from this knee, and you'll be just as fast, just as strong, and have a little more meat on them bones, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So you guys let us know in the comments if you're watching this video back later on Christian Watson. Let us know what you think about Scoot. Do you think he's a top 10 wide receiver? Do you think he's top 20? Do you think that's maybe too low? Maybe you see him as a top 5 receiver and ascending into an even larger role with the Green Bay Packers. And also let us know what you think about the future of Christian Watson. Would you go ahead and get him that contract extension as soon as you're able to do that 1 year from the extension that you just gave him? Or do you think you maybe let him play out that second year and risk the number getting really inflated before he hits free agency? Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, now, Tim, let's shift gears and talk a little Micah Parsons. This dude, man.
Here's the guy.
What a dominant performance, bro. I mean, he just took over that freaking game. I just put together a couple clips here that we're going to run through, and we'll hit on everything in great detail on Chalk Talk tomorrow. This is our boy Micah Parsons working off the edge. This is against Christian Darrisaw. And if anybody wants to pretend like all of a sudden Christian Darrisaw is not a good tackle, this guy – they just paid him $104 million contract, total contract, $104 million is what they paid him. This is what Micah Parsons does to a $104 million offensive tackle. Outside, jab, step back in, taking care of business. Tim, that is just way too easy, bro. Way too easy. Watch him work inside. Bang. That's one of several plays we could show you. Now I'm going to give you another one here where I was watching the tape and I just said, put it on repeat, because after I played that clip or tweeted that clip out, I found another one immediately. We'll see if we can get this thing to stop spinning here. Watch this one here, Tim. So now you've seen him, right, set up speed outside and then jab back in, rip back in on the inside move. Watch this move here. Same guy, Christian Darrisaw. Look at that. A little chop. Yeah, exactly. And what I want you to key in on is watch Christian Darrisaw at the end. Actually, I think it cuts off. I edited it out. Christian Darrisaw right here, you can kind of see it. He stands back up and goes, he shakes his head like, well, what the hell y'all want me to do with this guy? Like, seriously, what am I supposed to do with this guy?
Micah, it's all speed and it's technique, man. Like, the technique is incredible. Like, he's so fundamentally sound. and then the speed off the snap is just amazing. I mean, half of these guys are beat before they even get their second, heel in the dirt. Plays over with already.
Yeah. And then Jay Cole in the chat says, what about the Kelly play? You people are never satisfied, Jay. The one clip I don't have, actually, I got that clip. Let's hit it. Here we go. So this is the one that Jay's talking about. This is phenomenal right here. All right. So notice we're playing Joker 1, right? This is Devontae Wyatt lined up right in the face of Kelly, their center. Keep in mind, Kelly, one of the best centers in the game. Right, we talked about. I think he graded out in the 80s, I believe, and he's been a little banged up here lately. Well, this was his coming back party right here. It's coming out of the injury pool party, and you'll notice here Devontae Wyatt in the zero tech right up playing nose, and then look at Micah at the last second here. Tim, watch him jumping in. Oh my God! So this is what this is you're going to do. Let's say he is technically the Mike on this Joker 1 look. Right, this is going to be a Mike T fire. Okay, so watch him. This is designed to do this too. As soon as the ball snapped, Micah is going to somehow use his athleticism to jump in front of Wyatt and hit the center before Wyatt does. Watch what happens to the center. Look at this. So you see how Wyatt was working off. I think that's Wyatt, right? That is Wyatt, ain't it?
No,
yeah.
Is that 95 or 96?
That's Wyatt. Yeah, it's just
95. Yep.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe it was Wood. It's Wyatt. So look, he works off of it. Look at the center. That's Ryan Kelly, guys. I mean, just ass over tea kettle, right? And then look at this, the best part. What's the guard holding him, and he just ragdolls him.
Yeah, get off me, little boy.
Tim, this ain't normal. Like that, he just wrecked through, and like I said in the tweet, Micah Parsons ragdolling 630 pounds of grown-ass men is diabolical. Look, I mean, you're talking about over 630 pounds of pissed-off offensive lineman, and he just runs through one and slings the other like a little kid. And then
That's what I love about these looks, man, in this scheme. Like we were all excited when the deal was done, and we thought about, oh man, we have a premier speed edge rusher.
Right.
I don't think anyone was prepared for lining his ass up in the 0 or in the 1 and just letting him just wreck shop out here. This is amazing.
And I didn't expect him. I didn't expect him to play with so much power. I knew he was a speed rusher and the best in the game at it, right? But I didn't expect him to play with so much power in this game. He's running right through 320-pound linemen like it's nothing. I mean, he's absolutely flattening them. And again, like you said, you called out a hold just a second ago, right? Look at this shot. This is great. I think this is on a sack too.
Oh yeah. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about that.
And it was Lord Lambeau that tweeted it out. He said, no flag, by the way. They didn't throw a flag there.
Oh, I mean, we got to a point in the, especially in the fourth quarter, where them refs weren't throwing nothing. When the Vikings had the ball, they weren't calling anything. I don't know if that's the unofficial mercy rule or whatever, but we saw a lot of holds there down the stretch in the game, and Micah just fights through him, man. It's incredible to see him double teamed. We even seen triple teams. We saw Aaron Jones trying to chip him, and you had 2 linemen blocking him, and he still finds a way to get through, man. Just like you said, it's a testament to something we might have slept on, which is the power attribute to his game now.
Yeah, absolutely. Mitchell's mommy in the chat says, I think they really underestimate Micah's strength.
Yep.
I know I did. Like I said, man, I know I underestimated it. My gosh, man. It's just unbelievable what he can do. And I think a part of it is I think it's kind of like what Coach Lynn said right here, right? These linemen are already on their heels. They're terrified. Maybe it's more so that they have to respect that speed, get a little on their heels, and he just right through their face,
allows him to be patient there. Like you said, able to shoot in front of, Heavy D there on that look and get in and blow that play up because they're terrified. You almost had a false start on the right guard there, 71 on that play. I mean, You could tell he was crapping his pants. He already saw what was happening there pre-snap.
Yeah. Biz 1987 says strength for sure, but he's so fast as well. 4.340, they said. 4.340. And somebody who can run through an offensive lineman like that. It's absolutely insane. I mean, you're talking about elite cornerback speed, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. This guy's an edge rusher. I love it.
And, well, like you said too, though.
Yeah. And a run stuffer and a middle linebacker. I wonder if he can kick. I bet you he could kick if we needed him to.
I bet he could. Man, but anyway, I didn't want to spend that much time on it, but I just wanted to kind of hit. That's just a preview for tomorrow's Chalk Talk, our film breakdown. golly, dude, it's so much fun watching Micah Parsons play football, and people tweet it just about every day. I know Big B has tweeted it several times. I still can't believe Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. It's like, how did we pull this off? It's just unbelievable. So let us know in the comments if you're watching this back later. How do you feel about Micah? Is it worth the money now? Do you feel like the Packers are getting their money's worth? Are you okay with sacrificing those 2 first-round picks for getting a player like that? I know I am. There's no guarantee, especially where we're going to be picking, if we're picking in the bottom third of the draft, that you would be able to find a Micah Parsons. I mean, you got to be top 5 to get somebody like Micah in the draft, unless you just hit on an absolute gem, like maybe a TJ Watt, someone that, okay, he's a try-hard guy, he's got some athletic ability, and then all of a sudden, bang, he gets to the league and he's great. But it's just let us know in the comments what you think about this Micah Parsons, the momentum he's creating and what he's doing for the rest of that line too. Devontae Wyatt with 2 sacks, Rashan Gary with the, stripping the ball and forcing the interception. Hell, we have Warren Brinson and Isaiah McDuffie getting on the action. We want to hear from y'all in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. All right, Tim, let's talk a little linebacker now, man. Every week I'm expecting Isaiah McDuffie to kind of take a step back, and kind of come back to reality a little bit, because we've seen him play for several years, right? And every week it doesn't happen. He just continues to get better. Well, I went and pulled these earlier after seeing the grades and everything from the game, which we'll get into here in a second. I went and pulled the numbers and pulled the grades for the season. And I don't want to say to my surprise, but to my delight, I guess you could say, we've got 2 linebackers that are grading out in the top 20 amongst all linebackers in the league right now. All right. So at number
Fred
6,
Warner still at the top of the list.
Oh yeah, he'll always.
That's insane. When's the last time he played a down of football? He's still at the top of the list.
Yeah, Fred Warner is just
monster.
Yeah, he's the prototypical linebacker.
Yeah,
right? And there was people that gave the Lions hell over drafting Jack Campbell. I liked that pick personally. I hated it. I liked it, but I hated it. I was like, man, Jack Campbell's a dog. And then when the Lions took him, I'm like, I hate that pick. But Devin Lloyd with Jacksonville having a good season, right? And we could go down the entire list. We won't. But again, the point is, at number 16, Isaiah McDuffie with a 74.5. Number 18, Edgerrin Cooper with a 73.6. We've talked about Quay Walker, and obviously Isaiah McDuffie filled in for Quay. We were wondering, okay, are they just going to put McDuffie in the base and let Hopper run in the nickel? No. They had Isaiah wear the green dot, and this defense, I mean, they didn't miss a beat. Now, this isn't the dog Quay. I feel like Quay is having one of his better years, even though PFF disagrees. But if you're the general manager and you got that offer on the table for Quay, we know there's an offer that's been made that already leaked out. And Quay's kind of holding out like, let me prove I'm worth more, right? Well, now he gets banged up with the stinger, and your backup comes in and kind of, I don't want to say Wally Pips you, but, he comes in and plays well. I imagine that's got to put a little more pressure on Quay to go, maybe I need to take this contract, right? But also on the other side, and I don't know the inside football aspect of, once you make an offer, is it kind of bad pull to pull that contract out from under them and go, all right, the offer is no longer on the table. Do you set a deadline or what have you? But I'm just wondering, we know they love Isaiah McDuffie. We know he knows the defense because he wears the green dot. We know he's under contract this year and next year, I believe, if I remember correctly. He signed a 2-year contract this offseason. Or do you think they'll move forward with McDuffie and pull that offer from Quay? Do you think they'll keep the offer on the table? Because that is kind of a bad look if all of a sudden, nope, it's off the table now. And do you think maybe Quay is now looking at this like, okay, I probably need to take this contract? How do you feel about it? Because I'm very indifferent on the whole thing. Quay is an athletic freak. You line Quay up and Isaiah McDuffie up next to each other on the playground and go, which one you picking? I'm picking Quay, right? Dude's a specimen. But man, what Isaiah's putting on tape right now is just phenomenal. He's playing lights out football right now.
I agree 100%. And I think when it comes to, Goody and the boys at 1265, I would say that they're probably not going to pull the offer. I would think the offer is going to stand. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think they'd pull the rug out from under Quay. And I don't want to speak for Quay, but Yeah, you look around, you just missed a week. You caught a nasty stinger, and those, stingers can hang around too. He might be good to go Thursday and re-aggravate it and be out again. We don't know. It's tough, but I don't see Quay rushing to sign just because of missing some time, and I don't see the Packers full on, giving up on the idea of signing Quay. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I think the offer is the offer. If he's going to test the market after this year, he's going to test the market. It is what it is. He knows what's on the table from Green Bay. We know Goody has a history of, here's my offer. If you like it, sign it. If you don't, sign somewhere else. We don't see a lot of counter offers or, too much negotiating. And then the other thing you worry about, like with McDuffie playing as good as he's been playing, I wonder at what point do we have a conversation about, are there progress stoppers out there for Tyron Hopper? Because I thought Tyron Hopper looked pretty good in the base yesterday, and it was kind of our first real look at him getting like meaningful reps in this defense, as opposed to just filling in or playing special teams. So I think there's a lot of questions swirling around that linebacker room. Not to mention, like you said, hey, we might be picking to the middle or bottom of the draft this year. Doesn't mean you can't hit on a linebacker again, draft another one. So I think there's a lot of questions that are going to be answered here in the near future. But to answer your question, I don't think the Packers are going to pull that offer out from underneath Quay. I wouldn't anticipate it changing.
I think I'm with you there. Now it's going to come down to Quay whether or not he wants to accept that offer or just say, all right, I'm going to plan on hitting free agency. I do feel comfortable saying I don't think the Packers will come back to him and offer more. They're probably looking up going, you know what? As someone said in the chat right here, where it is, Doug says here in the chat, he says that loss isn't looking as bad as it seemed at the time. That's how I feel. But again, it's only one game.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm trying to curb the enthusiasm there, Doug, but I know exactly what you're saying, man. Chris,
you make a great point about McDuffie too, right? Like we've been talking about him off and on these past couple of seasons. And the one thing that's true is he has steadily gotten better. Like the improvement is real. You can see it in the numbers. You can see it on the tape.
Yeah, definitely. Chris the Casualian said, I'm starting to come around to the Quay contract, so he's on board with re-signing him there. Biz 1987, it's a good problem to have. Amen to that, man. Amen.
Yep.
Dave C says, Hopper always was a not quite as good Cooper, kind of why it was surprising to draft them both in the same year. And I understand your point there, Dave. I don't think that they look at it like, okay, we're going to get this guy, but we'll also add him and they'll both be great. I think that GMs, although they won't say it in the public, whatever arena, they look at it the same way. They look at it from a reality standpoint of, listen, we think he's a great prospect, but the hit rate on draft picks are low for everybody, right?
Yep.
There's nobody who's truly like figured it out. There's some that are better than others, but the hit rate is so low. If you got a need, take multiple swings. It's just like we talked about with Evan Williams. Evan Williams, we had Javon Bullard with a much higher grade, right? Well, they draft Bullard in the second, and they come back and they get Evan Williams in the fourth. Well, Evan Williams ends up being a better pro right off the bat than Javon Bullard. Well, now you got Javon Bullard starting to creep up and playing better football, right? So if they hadn't taken two swings, we'd still be looking for our safety, I believe, alongside Xavier McKinney, if that makes sense. So I think that's what GMs are doing a little bit more, Tim, is they're kind of, put it this way. If you could have taken two swings at center, and I know where they were picked, it wouldn't have worked out that way, but if you couldn't taken two swings at center to make sure you get the right one, and you would have let's say the draft picks would have fell in a sense that you could have taken, our boy Creed Humphrey and Josh Myers, then we'd be looking up going, we got a hell of a center in Creed Humphrey, and you just let Josh Myers walk, right? Like you kind of double dip there. Center's probably a bad example to use there, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
the logic is there. And like you said with Bull and E. Will, like that's a great example too. Yeah, maybe Bullard was, less serviceable as a safety, but man, he's a hell of a nickel corner, man. And like you said, trending upwards. And then you got Evan Williams, who's balling out of control right now. So to me, that's a hit and a hit right there, varying degrees of it, right? You got a double and a triple there. We'll take that all day.
Yeah. Coach Lynn says we need Quay for sure. As I read that, Coach, I immediately thought, God forbid either Cooper or McDuffie gets hurt. right? Imagine not having Quay on the roster and one of those guys get hurt, and now it's Hopper and I'm trying to think of who is it, Nyland or whatever his name is, the backup to the backup to the backup linebacker.
We'd probably be at Iola's own Christian Welch at that point.
Right. So the fact that even if they do decide, all right, let's let McDuffie start over Quay because maybe he's not 100% healthy, or maybe they just like the hot hand that McDuffie has right now, it's nice to know you have Quay in reserve, right? So I'm with you, Coach. Regardless if he's starting or not, we need Quay. Got to have Quay.
Sure.
You know, it's just as always, it's a boring argument or a boring comment, but it's at the right price always. So, all right, that's going to do it for the linebacker talk. Let us know in the comments what you guys and gals think about McDuffie and the Quay conversation. Which one would you go with? If they're both healthy, would you just pop Quay right back in the lineup? Or are you a little hesitant? Would you rather see McDuffie? And how do you feel about Quay's contract as well? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. Make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. That's going to do it for hour one of the show. We'll be back here in just a second for hour two, for those of you listening on the pod, where we're going to cover a little bit of Daniel Whelan talk, not much, but I want to show a clip that's absolutely awesome, and then we'll dive into the PFF grades. We'll see you on the other side for hour two. We appreciate you.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour two. Tim, this video here, I'm risking getting hit with a copyright, and I don't even care. I don't even care because this is one of the coolest videos I've seen. The Packers tweeted this out. We were talking about, putting the backspin on the ball. I'm going to turn the sound down because there is music playing, so it's going to be boring to people in here watching it with us. But this is going to show. Watch how Whelan drops this ball on the foot, and notice the backspin that he puts on the ball to get it to jump backwards on that fumble. All right, watch this. Just notice how he drops the ball here, guys. This dude is a technician. Look at that, right on the nose. Now look at the backspin for that ball to hit the turf and come right back. I mean, this dude, Tim, he is so damn good at his job, man. So good at his job. And then, of course, Zane Anderson fighting for the ball, doing a great job recovering it. Yep. There you see Christian Welch coming in. Yeah. Hopper.
Bo Melton.
Yeah.
Evan Williams, all down there. I love it. And again, great point, Clayton. You got a technician back there and a guy with a thunder leg. He can boot the hell out of it, but he's also accurate. And putting a little English on there. I love it, man. That ball did exactly what it needed to do and allowed Zane to make the play that he did. We broke that down this morning talking about the football IQ, but none of that happens if you don't hit a good one there. So Big shout out to the Irishman, Danny Whelan.
I mean, just a perfect kick. And again, I know it may be boring to some people. Why are we talking about punter? That right there was the play of the game.
I was just going to say, how can it be boring? This is what tilted the game right here. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a drive stall right before that punt. And you get special teams play like this, But hey, fire Rich Bisaccia, right, Clay?
Man, and again, Daniel Whelan was available for a reason, right? We see Daniel Whelan today. Well, who gets credit for working with Daniel Whelan? If we're going to scream fire Rich Bisaccia and blame him when kickers miss kicks and guys miss blocks and this and that, and then we got to give credit when they train someone to play at the level in which Daniel Whelan's playing. And it's the same thing with him holding the football as well. Rich is the one that's working with those guys, long snapping, all that stuff, right? So again, it's just something that I know we don't, Tim, because we talk about punters probably more than any other show, punters and
kickers, right?
Right. But man, those things, again, it was 10-6, and that fumble, that backspin he put on the ball and putting them in a position where Zane Anderson could kind of force that fumble, or that muff, I should say, and recover that won you a turnover, and you finished +3 in the turnover differential, and also it won you the middle eight.
Yep.
Right? Or it would have tied you
the middle eight, right?
So to me, it's the most important play of the game. It really is, man. It really, really is. So
and credit to Matt LaFleur and the offense, right? You capitalized on that. You put points on the board. That's the most important part, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So again, Daniel Whelan just continuing to I want to see that dude be an all-pro, man. We've got to sooner or later, he's got to get recognized because he's become one of the most consistent. He always had that flash, that boom, and that precision. And now it's consistency. It's just every time he kicks the ball. I'm expecting him to miss one, and when he does, I'm not going to rake him over the coals. I'm like, he was due for one, right?
Yeah.
But he just never misses. He never misses, man. So, yeah, there you go. Great matter. Surely Pat McAfee has more punter time. I don't know, man. I watch Pat McAfee every day, and let me tell you, Bo, I think we've talked about punter more than them because Whelan's one of the best players on this team. It's wild.
For sure.
And he definitely is taken for granted from time to time. So, all right, Tim, let's shift gears. Let's get into the PFF grades, man. This was a fun one to break down on tape. I'm excited to do that tomorrow on Chalk Talk. I've been watching film all day today. I've officially made 3 passes through the All-22, and we've got 16. 16's becoming the magic number this year. 16 plays is what we've got lined up for tomorrow for Chalk Talk. So if you guys have never tuned in for Chalk Talk, make sure you're on here with us 6 p.m. Central tomorrow. We're going to break down the most important plays from the game there against the Vikings. We'll go all 22. We'll go end zone cam. We'll give you the play call. We'll give you everything about the play design, and we'll figure it out together. The chat gets very interactive there as well. We just break down the tape together and talk about that huge win there from the game against the Vikings. So, Tim, overall PFF grades to start there. The Packers are now the 4th highest graded team in the league. Offensively, they are now the 9th highest graded team in the league with a 77.4. And defensively, they are the 5th highest ranked team with an 80.0. Remember just early in the year, the offense kept dipping. Now you're seeing the offense slowly creeping back up, man. And again, that offensive grade was a 77.4. So let's jump into now the week by week basis here. Minnesota game, the Packers graded out a 75.8. I'm going to try to do the quick math here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's their 6th highest graded game. So they didn't play like a great game. They didn't play like they did against the Commanders in week 2, right? Where they had an 85.7. But a 75.8, more than good enough to get it done. 71.7 on offense. Defensively, a 71.7 as well. That's really crazy. They get the same exact grade there. And it looks like what they did best yesterday was their receiving grade at 77.5. So you'd love to see that, man. You see them rebound after all the drops. Obviously against the Giants, 56 or a 64.2, and then jump back up to a 77. So that was their 3rd best game in terms of receiving grades. Just a quick little glance at that. Now let's jump into the offensive side of the ball. Here are the heroes of the day. See if we can get this zoomed in, make it a little easier for everybody.
Oh, look at that. Scoot at the top of the list.
At the very top, bro. Christian Watson leading the way, 49 snaps, 82.5 PFF grade. Second on the list, Luke Musgrave. I pause for dramatic effect. Luke Musgrave, 74.9 was your 2nd highest graded player, 25 snaps. So there was the other 2 tight ends got more snaps than him, but still 25 snaps is a good little chunk of the game. We seen him draw the pass interference on that one play, right? And I think that's happened twice now this year with Luke Musgrave. They love working him up the sideline. So
that's a high FBI play too, for the record. If you're getting your arm pinned behind your back by a DB and you're running up the sideline, you're waving that offhand, and you're also not hand fighting, because more often than not, the official is going to just let it be contact, or you might get offsetting or a no call. The fact that he allowed that DB to just pin him and try to catch that ball one-handed is what got us the call. So that was a clutch play.
And you know what I think is going on there? I think that it's freed him up, that they're going, you know what? And you notice it says TER. I wonder if that means tight end receiver. I don't think they specify. I bet it does. So we need to go dig through the tape and try to see where Luke Musgrave lined up the whole time. But the fact that the other 2 tight ends got more snaps than him, as you can see here, John Fitzpatrick got 40, Josh Whyle got 27, Luke got 25. I think it's freeing him up, Tim, that they're not asking him to play tight end now, right? They're allowing him to use his God-given talent and ability to do what he does well, and that's a testament to good coaching. As Coach Lynn, I'm sure, would confirm, the number one thing a coach can do, Tim, is put your players in position to do what they do well, right?
Absolutely. And we always, our biggest gripe was the run blocking and the pass blocking with Luke. So if he's a better pass catcher and a field stretcher, let's put him in that position. I thought Fitzpatrick did well in the blocking scheme, and so did Wiley. So it makes sense, man. That's just another testament to good old Tupac LaFleur knowing what to do with the weapons that he has.
Yeah. And again, run blocking grade this week for Luke Musgrave, 70.4. So I think it's kind of freeing him up. Like it's less pressure on him now. So
Yep.
I love it. I love to see it. Emanuel Wilson, third with a 72.2. Chris Brooks, fourth with a 71.5. Boy, you think they weren't wanting to play for Josh Jacobs yesterday, man? That's absolutely awesome. Both those guys came out and balled out. Malik Willis, only 6 snaps, but a 70.8. Zach Tom, 69.2. Dontavion Wicks, 32 snaps, 68.2. Tim, don't look now, but I think Wicks is earning more snaps, dude. It sucks. I say, listen to me. I about said it sucks that Matthew Golden's coming back. No, it don't suck. That's great. But Dontavion Wicks taking advantage of the opportunity, man. I think he's going to earn a good little portion of snaps moving forward, man. He made a couple of good snags there in that game, and to me, his hands have gotten way better this year.
If anything, I'm looking at my boy Malik Heath, and I'm a little concerned because he's been trending downward in the snap totals, and Tay Wicks is I think Tay Wicks has 1 drop on the season. We might have to fact check that, but compared to the drop issues he had maybe last season, you can see steady improvement with Tay Wicks, including that gem of a grab on that floater from Air Jordan yesterday into the middle of the field with 5 defenders around, and Tay went up there and grabbed that ball. We've also seen him make a lot of contested grabs this year as well. So I think you're right. Tay Wicks is trending upwards, and even with Golden coming back into the fold and Jaden Reed coming back into the fold, if anything, I think there's a spot for Tay Wicks in this rotation for sure.
Yeah. And he's under contract again next year, right?
Yep.
So that's why it's like the closer we get to the end of the season, it's kind of looking like with Rome. It's he may end up being the odd man out, right? But Bates did confirm. Thank you so much for looking that up, Bates, and everything you always do, man. He says TER is a receiving focused tight end. TEB is a blocking focused tight end. So thank you for looking that up. And it looks like everybody was considered TER in this game, right? So for what it's worth, but Luke Musgrave, that's just awesome to see that though, for sure. Josh Wiley, man, just doing what you ask him to do, Tim. 27 snaps, 67.6. John Fitzpatrick right behind him, 64.0. But the big thing with Wiley, man, you see it every week on the tape, 74.4. We're going to show a misdirection play. It's one of the explosive runs by Emanuel Wilson from yesterday. We'll show it tomorrow on Chalk Talk, where they run a little misdirection where he kind of fakes to the left, takes the handoff, and then cuts back. And they've actually got Wiley, I believe it was Wiley, doing a little U lead off the opposite side. Really, really nice play, man. Really nice play. So tight ends are playing good football, man. That's all you can ask for sure.
Fitzpatrick running through an MFer's face too. We saw that up the sideline. I was up out of my seat, man, on that one. I'd love to see that. Keep the piss hot, man. Tuck Norris is going to be missing some time, so we need our tight ends to keep the piss hot. I love it.
Yeah. So again, Zach Tom 69.2, going to the offensive line. Rasheed Walker 63.6. Romeo Dobbs 63.3, Jordan Love 62.7. How cool is it? Your quarterback completely banged up, separated shoulder, AC joint sprain, whatever the technical term is for his specific injury, and he's still grading out a 62.7. Man, that says a lot about Jordan. Aaron Banks 60. I thought on the tape he looked pretty decent to me. Jordan Morgan looked bad on the few reps I noticed of him. But Sean Ryan got a 56.3, Darian Kennard a 54.1, Anthony Belton a 44.8. I know people are going to see that and go, whatever, he played great. I didn't look at the tape. I didn't look at the tape and think Anthony Belton deserved a 44.8. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't see it the same way other people. People were talking like he's mauling. He's taking – I heard Matt LaFleur call him a mauler, right? And the media immediately said, man, this offensive line really took off. The running game really took off once Anthony Belton got in there. He did play better than I think Jordan Morgan did. And obviously, PFF agrees here, 38.9 for Morgan and 44.8 for Belton. But the big thing here with those two guys, notice their pass blocking grade is good. 77.8 for Belton, 82 for Jordan Morgan, but a 39 and a 35 in the run blocking. Again, Anthony Belton was a left tackle at NC State. Jordan Morgan was a left tackle at Arizona. Yep. So it is what it is. Now, if you had to ask me which one of those two would you rather have at right guard, it's neither. I want Darian Kennard, but Anthony Belton over Jordan Morgan at right guard. Let's let Jordan Morgan prep for left tackle and let him be your backup left side. right? That's what I want to
Yeah.
see the rest of the year. I don't know how you feel if you got a take on that as we get ready to wrap up the offensive side of the ball here, man.
No, I would agree with that. I think there's something to build on there with Belton at right guard. I mean, we saw a rotation, and then he basically finished the game there. 45 snaps at right guard. So clearly they're seeing something with him, and I think you're right. Maybe that's the plan, is to get Jordan Morgan on the left side of that line, whether it's left guard, left tackle, whatever. Get him over in that spot. And, we know what the equation is, right? Put the best 5 out there. Same thing with Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan didn't grade out very well in his second game as a starting center. But that's a work in progress. I think once he gets some of these, the pass pro down a little bit and gets some of these snaps under control, this is the second week in a row we saw a couple of high snaps that terrifies the hell out of you. You don't want to see something going over your quarterback's head into the backfield. I think once he gets that together with time and experience, Sean Ryan may prove to be a serviceable center until we figure it out. And we certainly know he's serviceable on the interior, left guard, right guard as well. So I think you've got some versatility there. But I'm with you, man. I'd like to see Jordan Morgan on the left side of that line, and I'd like to see Kennard at right guard. Maybe if we have to move Zach Tom, maybe Belton's your right tackle. We don't know. A lot can happen in the trenches. There's a lot of ball left, right?
Yeah, and hopefully they'll continue to build off of, listen, these are just PFF grades. Nobody's saying this is the gospel, right? Felt like we ran the ball pretty good yesterday against a decent defense. Let's be honest, right? Their run defense was slightly better than their pass defense, if I remember correctly, because I was thinking we probably need to pass a little bit more than run, just based off of the tendencies and how everything had gone up to this point. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how everything unfolds. Let's go to the chat real quick. Chris Casualan says, Musgrave madness? ? In all caps. Let's go. Older than dirt. Musgrave with a 70.4 shows he's working on the run blocking. Yep. Absolutely. And again, you don't have to do it for 50 snaps a game like we asked Tucker Kraft to do, right? Just let him kind of do his thing, put him in a position to be effective, and let him slowly work on that. And I understand it's not ideal for a second-round pick. I got you. I expected Musgrave to be a day one starter and be very, very effective. I was wrong on that. Here's what's hilarious about when you watch the college tape and how much different it is from the pros. The main strength that I had tagged on Musgrave watching his college tape, there was two things. No, there was two things. Even worse, Tim, you're going to laugh your ass off. I said spatial awareness, right? He's just good at knowing where people are around him. And I said contact balance.
Oh, yeah. That didn't translate to the NFL.
And you watch it on the college tape, and he was catching balls in traffic. The year before his final year in college, he was healthy. His final year, he was hurt. Maybe that's what happened. But his next to last year in college, he catch the ball in a tight window, bounce off a guy, stay on his feet, and take off. I'm like, oh, good contact value. It was all over the tape. You get to the pros, maybe it has something to do with internal bleeding. I don't know.
I was just going to say, a lacerated kidney might do that to you. Might change the way you approach the game a little bit.
It changed Jordy Nelson when he got those ribs cracked. Did it not? He was never the same player when he got popped in those ribs. I know most people look at the ACL like that's what did it. To me, it was the rib shot on the sideline that was like, he started thinking, man, that farm looking better and better every day. I'd rather be on the tractor than taking these ribs.
Wasn't that Sherman? Wasn't that Richard Sherman that popped him on that play?
Man. I just remember him getting crunched on the sideline.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
he had the flak jacket on the next week, though, and tried to go. Got to love Jordy, man.
Tough as nails. Same thing with Musgrave finishing the game with a lacerated kidney or whatever. So, yeah. Jen Wright with some breaking news here, Tim. We got breaking news?
Are you serious? Jen Wright dropping the bombs. Let's go.
Our correspondent, Jen Wright in the chat, says, Jaden Reed just posted a YouTube short titled Be Back Soon.
I'm not going to lie. I was faded. I ain't going to lie. I was faded. Like,
you think he'll be back this week, Tim, or is that kind of curbing the enthusiasm? Like, it may be a little bit longer, but soon.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
I think if it's up to Bird, he's going to play on Thursday. But it's not up to him entirely, right? I love this. I'm glad Jen picked up on this. That's cool. Be back soon can mean a lot of things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bottom line, I'm willing to bet for sure that he's back against the Bears.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. Mandy says be back soon all the time, and then I start getting notifications on my phone talking about credit card swiped here, credit card swiped there, credit card swiped there. She did it again earlier today. Says she's going to be home at 8 o'clock. Check the Live 360. She's shopping again. Unbelievable. This girl. So we'll see, though. And here's the thing, too, with back to Jaden Reed tomorrow, when we get the practice footage and everything, I'll go live immediately when that drops, and we'll see, is he full participant? Is he still – if he's limited tomorrow, Tim?
I would say I doubt Thursday,
I'd say he probably ain't.
If he's full, maybe we get Bird. And, again, snap count maybe, right?
And the rebuttal there is if he's listed as limited, that could be them playing a little gamesmanship too, trying to make the Lions think he ain't going to play. So it could be a little bit of that as well. So Chester in the chat said, I missed it. How did Rasheed grade out? Rasheed Walker graded out a 63.6. Not bad, you know. Zach Tom was a 69. So Rasheed was the second highest graded offensive lineman. Let's take a look at what he's done this year, Tim. 63, 69, 34, 64, 68, 72, 61, 75, 71, 56, 63. So his grade's a 67. I would love to have Rasheed Walker back next year, just not for the price that it's going to warrant with him hitting free agency, you know? I
agree. I certainly think one of the best seventh round offensive linemen you're going to see out there in the modern NFL. Yeah. Pleasant surprise for us. I remember, you know, this is going back to Bakhtiari and the knee, right? I mean, Rasheed Walker was thrown into the fire and has continued to be steady throughout this process. But I'm with you, Clay. I don't think we can't overpay for good, right? We can overpay for great. And I think he's been really, really good. I just don't know if he's been, great at left tackle.
Yeah. And when you look at it here, gang, like he's consistent as they get, right? 66, 68, 67 throughout his career. When you look at the penalties, he had 9 penalties in 23, and I don't even know if that's good or bad, to be honest with you, but he had 10 penalties in 2023. Last year he had 9 penalties. I will say, like about 200 more, a little less than 200 more snaps though. So he lowered the penalties on more snaps. That's a good thing. This year he's up to 693 snaps and he's at 5 penalties. So he's tracking about the same thing. You know what you got with Rasheed. He's always going to grade out in the mid to upper 60s. And he's probably going to be, on the books for about 10 penalties on the year, So, and he's a good pass blocker. Yep. He's not so good run blocker. That's essentially what you got. So I think you hit the nail on the head, Tim. You'll overpay for good, not great. He's a good offensive lineman. And you just can't afford to break the bank for that, right? So.
Yep. I like what Deadfish is saying too. Like I would like it too. I'm with you, but we just talked about Jordan Morgan, right? I think that the writing's on the wall. The plan may be to move him over to that spot. And I have faith in, like, when it comes to Jordan Morgan playing left tackle, I feel real good about that compared to him playing right guard or something. So
right. Yeah.
Great point by Deadfish.
Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall there. That's going to be the plan. Jordan Morgan play left tackle, right? Chris Casualin says, can Jordan Morgan be as good or better than Sheeto based on what we've seen from Morgan thus far? I think yes. Yeah. I think he'll be better than Rasheed Walker at left tackle based off a little bit we've seen in the preseason, but also the grades kind of suggest it too. Like you see the 82 pass blocking grade in this game specifically, right? And then you go back up to our boy Rasheed Walker. His pass blocking grade in this game is a 59.4, right? So, again, it's a run blocking that's so bad on Jordan Morgan. What you'll probably get is a slightly worse run blocking version of a slightly worse run blocker than Rasheed Walker at left tackle, but I think a much more effective pass blocker, which you'll get. So,
yep.
It's still early, and he hasn't gotten a chance to play on the left side, which is more his natural spot, like we've talked about ad nauseum. But I'm, give me one more year of this, and I'll be willing to accept. Yeah, Jordan probably not to do, But again, it's just so tough because we haven't seen him do. That's one player that they have not put in a position to do what he does best. So. All right, let's shift gears and go over to defense here before we run out of time, Tim. This is probably the most exciting part here. It's the last thing we're hitting. Isaiah McDuffie leading the way, 86.4. Tim, 88.2 coverage grade, bro. What the hell is going on out here, as Vince Lombardi once said? An 88.2 coverage grade with an 82 tackle grade. His run fit grade was a 58, so not great. but still at 86.4. And we talked about it earlier. He's grading out as the 16th best linebacker, 74.5 on the year, 72.9 coverage grade. I think what this says here, Tim, you got a damn good tackler, and you got a guy who knows this defense inside and out. Is what you got.
Oh, big shocker. The Boston College guy fits in really well with Hafley's scheme. Oh, I'm really surprised.
I mean, Hafley immediately when he came in and started looking at things like, I need that dude.
Yeah.
We got to make sure he stays on the roster, right?
And you can't say that didn't have at least a little bit to do with this surge that we're seeing.
Absolutely.
Duffy, we always knew he was a solid tackler, right?
Yep.
And the fact that the pass defensive grade and the way he's been playing in the pass game, that's just a pleasant surprise. And clearly Zay McDuffie's one of those dudes. Like, you can throw him into the fire. The moment's not too big for him. Like, I don't think he batted an eyelash at all at the fact that he was the green dot and had to fill in for Quay. And it's evident on the tape and on the grades here.
Yeah. As Not So Cool says in the chat, pick and a sack. Had a great day, man. Chester Marco says Duff is a bad man. He is right now. And as you were saying that, Tim, about, how he's gotten better playing in Hafley's system, I bet there's a little bit of that extra motivation too, knowing that Hafley believes in him. That's my guy. Like, I don't want to let him down. There's some players get a lot of fire under their ass, right? Other players, you got to pat them on the back. And there's some players that they want somebody to believe in them. And I think he may have that in Hafley. And it's like he wants to go out there. I guess what I'm saying is Hafley's probably getting the most out of McDuffie that anybody could get out of,
Oh, yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
All right, next on the list, Xavier McKinney, 75.9, Micah Parsons, 71.7, Edrin Cooper, 70.5. Don't look now, boys. Javon Bullard, another top 5 defensive player, 68.7, a coverage grade of 69.6. Bull just continues to steady the ship here. Look at the grades now. He's at a 66.3 on the year, 44, 61, 47, 58. His cheeks get him out of the lineup. Then look at this run. 71, 73, 69, 64, 66, 72, 68. Bullard's coverage, man, showing a ceiling of an 80.9 against the Giants. And again, a 69.6 yesterday. So excited about Javon Bullard's future, man. It's going to be awesome.
Me too. And maybe he is a safety / corner, right? Because that coverage grade's coming around. We can't necessarily say, hey, don't throw him back there in safety or at the safety spot if you need him. This coverage grade has been shooting through the roof these past couple of weeks, man. So shout out to the Bulldog Bull, developing really nicely here.
Yeah, definitely, man. I love watching him play too, man. He plays the game the right way. He really, really does. Next on the list, Kingsley Nabari with a 67.6. Had a great day there. Not great, but a really good day, I should say. So he's grading out a 66.6 on the season. Again, we've seen 55 drop. It makes it into Chalk Talk. I showed it again. I kind of dunked on a few people on Twitter today. I probably shouldn't have done that. I don't take Peter Schrager's advice, and I need to. He said, in this business, 2 things: work hard and don't be an asshole. And I think
you got the working hard part down.
I know, but God, I'm an a-hole. Mandy reminds me every day. She's like, Clayton, everything doesn't have to be a freaking war all the time. But I know I'm trying hard, but I just can't stand to hear other people run people through the dirt and they don't know what they're talking about. It just absolutely drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But again, Kingsley Nabari, only 15 snaps. So Gary more than doubled his snaps. So they kind of put that to bed. People will stop complaining about that for a little bit. And we've seen 55 drop a couple of times in the game, one of which actually led to a sack, which was really cool to see because you can see ball was snapped. McCarthy was expecting pressure, dropped back, looked left, and noticed, oh, crap, where's 55 going? He's taking my hot away. And then he comes back to the right and he gets smacked in the mouth. So huge, great job scheming there by Hafley and the guys. So Evan Williams, 67.6, looking solid there. Tackle grade of 81.5, having another great game. He is at a 72.6 on the season, so you love to see that. Just continues to play really good football in his second year in the season. Or second year in his career. Tyron Hopper, 65.7. Let's freaking go. That's what I'm talking about. 71.6 on the season, Tim. It's only 38 snaps. But, man, how cool is it to know you got that guy on the bench if you need him, right? And he comes in and it's like he's not going to blow your socks off, but boy, oh boy, can he hold his own on the field. Tackle grade 72.8. We talked about that. He's a thumper. Coverage grade not too bad, 63.6. Just a good performance, man, by Hopper.
Shout out Mizzou, man. We got another one.
Yep, and another one. All right, next you've got Warren Brinson, 64.0 on 21 snaps. Rashan Gary, 63.2 on 32 snaps. Kamal Haddon, 62.3. Yeah, that's a solid performance.
I might have to get another 36 jersey. You know, we got Nick the Pick. We got Leroy the Leap. I'm going to have to put Kamal Haddon up there with 36.
31 snaps, 62.3, 60.1 coverage grade. Run defense spit, 65.7. Tackle grade, 29. But yeah, hey, listen, man, it was like you didn't notice him out there, and that's what you want for a cornerback, right? Didn't see him getting picked on or anything.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, his first 2 snaps, did you see the first 2 snaps when he had to come in for key?
Mm-mm.
You know, he basically gets held, and he's looking at the official like, where the hell's the flag? This is a blatant hold, blatant illegal contact. No call, obviously. You're the new guy, right?
Yeah.
Next play, he jams Justin Jefferson right in his grill and makes a great play. So, I mean, that's what you want in a corner, right? We talk about short memory, right? We've talked about this before. You lost a rep, your first rep out there, your second rep, bam, right in his grill. I love that attitude. I love the way he plays. And don't sleep on Kamal Haddon. Keep an eye out there for 36. We're no stranger to 36 running around in the secondary. Let's keep an eye out.
And I think everybody would agree that our cornerback room is playing way above what we expected, right? That shouldn't be a surprise, though, because that's Hafley's specialty. That's what he does. They call him the DB Whisperer, right? That was like his big nickname. And that was Richard Sherman and some of those guys who, if I remember correctly, Hafley was in Seattle as an assistant when Sherman was there, and then later on, Hafley was in San Francisco when Sherman was there. And Richard Sherman was just talking about how Hafley, just his knowledge of the game and how the guys respect him, and they know he's not blowing smoke. When he talks to you, when he breaks down the game, you better listen. He's trying to give you little tips on how you can gain an advantage, and I think he's just getting the most out of a cornerback room that. Money-wise, I mean, my God, Keyshawn Nixon's the highest paid dude in the cornerback room, right? At $6 million. So just phenomenal what he's been able to do. Next, Carl Brooks, only 4 snaps. I think he got hurt, 62. Kobe Wooden, 58. Keyshawn Nixon only played 13 snaps. So you kind of throw that out, but it was a 57.8. Carrington graded out bad, and I'm trying to figure out why. His coverage grade was a 62.7. It looks like the reason he graded out so bad, Tim, was the run defense and the tackle grade at a 39 and a 23. I didn't notice it on the tape. Maybe I overlooked it. But I'm not overly concerned with Carrington's grade there. Are you? Okay, good deal.
Me neither. And that 62.7, is that the coverage grade? What's the coverage grade?
Yeah, 62.7 coverage.
Yeah, that's BS. That's low too. And he had that one missed. He almost had a pick. We saw that. He was just
oh yeah, dude.
Just missed it. But I don't know. And yeah, maybe a missed tackle. I don't see the grade being that low, but again, we don't know the formula. I'm not worried about CV either, man, at all.
LVN only 6 snaps, but Devontae Wyatt, man, how the hell do you get 2 sacks in a game and grade out of 44? And what's crazy is his pass rush grade is a 61.6. So maybe he was doing some touch spine that I didn't notice. I don't think so, though. His run defense grade was a 37.9. And listen, they did hit some explosives. It didn't make chalk talk because I didn't think it was worth it to include those, seeing that they didn't score any points. But maybe if I keyed in on those explosive runs, maybe Wyatt got a little reckless in his run fit. I don't know. But Deadfish, your guess is as good as mine. He says, why is Wyatt so bad? I don't know, man. I guess the Uber driver graded Wyatt out, right? It's the only I come up with. So, and then Nazir Stackhouse only played 3 snaps, so grading it a 40 there, obviously. But those are your PFF grades on defense. How do you feel about it overall, Tim? These grades on defense and how the defense performed. Again, I try to take it, watch the tape, NFL Pro, PFF grades. I'm happy with the way the defense performed. But somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat too. I think they said something like, not to be that person, but how much of this is the JJ McCarthy effect? I think that's a fair point. He played bad, played really bad football. But again, you can only play the opponent in front of you, right?
That's true. And I wonder if that goes into some of their formulas when they're grading matchups and grading guys out, right? But yeah, you got to play the guy across from you. And me personally, I give the defense an A+. They get an A++ for their performance. No touchdowns given up. Lots of turnovers. There were lots of turnovers. I like it.
I like what Jen says here. Need to let me on PFF. I'll cook up some grades. Everybody is an A+. Everybody. Right? So, yeah, I'm with you, Deadfish. 2 sacks and a 44 PFF score. Just nuts. Yeah, completely agree, man. So let us know if you're watching this video back later. How do you feel about the PFF grades? Do you think they're all smoking crack? Do you think they're all base? Do you think it was warranted? Do you think it was more of the fact that JJ McCarthy, didn't play very good football? I think we would all agree with that. But again, man, take advantage and exploit every mismatch that you got in any game, any given week. So, yeah. There you go, Mitchell's mommy. I'm telling you, PFF smoke was something. So.
Be a crackhead. You got hold to the wrong stuff.
And that's why I always try to tell people, like, listen, we show the PFF grades every week because it's just another way we can cross-check stuff, right? And I put a little bit of stock in it. The fact that there's extra sets of eyes, supposedly, I wish I knew who they were, but extra sets of eyeballs on the play, it's less legwork I got to do, and then I can always kind of give my opinion against it and what does the tape show? So,
well, hopefully those Uber drivers are keeping their eyes on the road while they're, I don't know how you watch film and drive a car. It's crazy.
I imagine they're steering with their knee and breaking down the tape, Tim. That's not good. Don't give me any ideas either, man. I think I can pull that off. Anyway, let us know if you're watching this video back later. Do you think the grades were on point? Do you think they were too high, too low? Maybe is there a player that you felt like should have been graded higher? We want to hear from you in the comments. Let us know, and make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Like tomorrow when we go live at 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live Chalk Talk Edition, we'll break down the 16 most important plays of that win over the Minnesota Vikings as the Packers improve their record once again. And now we're just a half a game behind the Bears. This is setting up for a great finish this season, man. Matter of fact, as we wrap up, Tim, I got us a new graphic here. Let me throw this up. We can use it here for the next few weeks anyway. Shout out to Nerdin on NFL. Nice. They put this graphic out. That's the remaining schedule for the 3 contenders there in the NFC North. I think it's really cool to see. So you see the Bears on Black Friday. We're going to do if everything goes okay and Mandy doesn't drag me out of the house shopping, we're going to do a live watch party. At least I will, and the guys can join me if they want. A live watch party, Bears at the Eagles. I think it's a 3:00 kickoff for Black Friday game there against the Eagles. Obviously, we'll be Eagles fans there. Packers play the Lions. Lions play the Packers on Thanksgiving. We'll be doing a pregame and postgame show. I don't know if I can do a pregame show or not. I'll try. Yeah, I think I'll be able to pull off pregame, postgame show for that. And then let's just kind of run through the Bears are in the lead here, right? So they got the Eagles, and then they got us. If the Eagles can knock them off, and then we somehow win against the Lions on Thanksgiving, then we've got a half a game lead, right? And then all of a sudden, if you beat the Bears the following week, now you got a 1.5 game lead in the North. That's how quick it can turn. Yep. So I'm excited to see how the Bears stack up against us because, again, man, they keep winning. You got to give credit where credit's due. And we know the story. They're bad opponents. I got you. I understand all that. But I'm ready for an answer. I'm ready to see these 2 teams face off. What I'm ready for. And it's going to be at Lambeau Field, Week 14, chill in the air. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So, and then, of course,
the beard will be at that game for sure.
Watch out, ladies. If you're in Green Bay, Lord have mercy. Hide your grandmas. All right. The beard is coming to town. So, again, the Bears at the Eagles, at the Packers, Browns at home. That should be a win for them. Then they got the Packers at home, right? And then they're on the road against San Francisco, and then they get the Lions back at home to round it out. So they got a tough little gauntlet there, man. They do. So, going to be a lot of fun, man. But again, we'll be back tomorrow for Chalk Talk. I'll probably go live as soon as we get the practice updates so we can fill everybody in on the Jaden Reed situation. Hopefully we see full participation there, but we'll give you all that info. So everybody hit like, subscribe. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. Had a packed house in here. You guys and gals continue to show up. We don't know why, but we greatly, greatly appreciate it. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Tim, thank you for your time, man.
Thanks for having me, Clay.
All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care.
Here we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.